Cam, you've always had a conviction and a belief in yourself, even when the odds may have been against you. What is it that drives that, and where did that originate from?
Really myself. I've had a dream since I was a little kid. I had bigger aspirations than being just a draft pick, but I just think I just wanted more. I have a true love for the game of football, and I believe in God. And if you got hard work and God on your side, a lot of stuff can take care of itself.
Cam, at what point in this process, as the Titans were evaluating you and you were meeting with them, did you kind of feel like that you were going to be their guy?
I thought I was their guy all along. I let the tape do a lot of talking, but I think just once they got to finally, meet me face to face and watch film with me, it just helped my case. Coach Callahan, he's a great head coach. He's a great offensive mind. He's had a lot of success with previous quarterbacks. I'm hoping I could be, his next project.
Hey Cam, both Brian Callahan and Mike Borgonzi spoke very highly of your leadership qualities. I wonder how you would describe your leadership yourself, and maybe how that's changed over the years you were in college and going to the different schools along the way.
Um, I think I don't know how to describe my leadership quality. I'm not a big rah-rah guy. But I think I hold people accountable at times when they need to be held accountable. At the end of the day, it's all about, are you getting better one day at a time? And it's about creating relationships, with your teammates. If you want to go and try to get on somebody and you're not doing the work, it's not going to happen overnight. And so, I'm big on, actually knowing your guys in the locker room instead of just playing football with them. And I think that's helped me in my career.
Borganzi and Callahan both talked a lot about your spatial awareness as one of the keys to what they think is going to make you a very good player. How much do you agree with that, and how do you feel like that kind of came to be in your game?
I agree with a lot. I think to be a good quarterback, no matter what level you play, you have to be able to see space and be on time. And I just think just every offense that I ran in college at all three of my stops has helped me to, get through progressions better, be a better quarterback. Every year I've gotten better in my career, and I plan on doing the same next year.
Cam, a lot of people expected this pick to be you, but can you just take us through the phone call of when you got that? Coach Callahan was saying it was actually really emotional because when you work your whole life to be able to pick up that phone and to pick it up first in the NFL draft, can you just take us through that phone call and what it was like?
It was special. It was real special to me. I think it was more special to my parents just because of, what they put in financially and, time wise to get me to everywhere I need to be. But it's a moment you don't take for granted. And I lived in it, and I'm excited that, I was able to, end up in a good franchise like Tennessee.
Hey Cam, how would you describe your game and just kind of what expectations do you have for yourself as a pro?
I'll describe my game as a playmaking pocket passer. I love getting, the whole receiving core in the running backs the ball. I just think what I expect out of my career is to be one of the best quarterbacks to ever put it on. That's the aspiration that I had on myself since I was a kid, and I think as long as I'm willing to work hard, be a good teammate, and keep believing in God, it'll work out for me.
Cam, can you reflect on the decision last year to come pull out of the draft, and then looking at how it has worked out for you, it definitely was worth the wait. But can you reflect on just that whole process for you internally?
It was a good process. I did it on my timing. It's a lot of people out there said I shouldn't have did it. But at the end of the day, the only opinion to me that matters is myself. I write my own book, and I just think the stuff that I went through in the past just helped put me in this position. So I mean, I'm blessed. I can't complain. I get to live and walk another day, and I'm excited to be a Tennessee Titan.
Hi, Cam. Congratulations. What does it mean to you that Mike Borgonzi was just telling us there's no price on a franchise quarterback and they turned down some offers for you? And what does it mean that they were so determined to get you here at any cost and turning down offers along the way?
It means a lot. It just shows, how much belief they have in me, as a person and as a quarterback. But I mean, I'm honored. Anytime you get a chance to, be a franchise quarterback, any chance you get to, lead a group of guys, who want to win every game, it's a blessing. But I'm ready for it. I've asked for it from God, and He delivered, and I'm just trying to pay my dues to it.
Cam, what do you sort of envision as the biggest challenge for you as you move from the college to the NFL level?
Right now I'd say the biggest challenge right now would be learning all my teammates' names. I gotta learn that really really fast. And other than that, it's all about playing football. I've watched a lot of tape on NFL teams. And I just think the game will move a certain pace on how the quarterback can see the field. I'm a big believer in that, and it's all about ball placement and timing, in my opinion, at the quarterback position. If you have those two things, a lot of stuff will work out.
Cam, outside of the obvious with Brian Callahan, who in this organization kind of gives you confidence that they can develop you into the quarterback you think you can be?
I think the O-line and receivers can make me the quarterback that I want to be. At the end of the day, it's more than just about me, and we all have a job to do. So I just think just my teammates will be able to uplift me. The receivers making plays, the O-line, keeping people, off of myself, and also helping us in the run game. So I think everybody's contribution will eventually get me to being one of the best quarterbacks.
While the Titans were turning down those trades, Cam, I don't know how much you know about what happened since you walked on stage. The Jaguars gave up an awful lot to move up to number 2 to get
Yep.
Travis Hunter. You're going to be playing against him twice a year now. Do you feel connected to him in that a divisional opponent gave up a lot to move to him? You're going to see each other twice a year now. They obviously put a huge value on him. What do you think about all that?
That's a great pick for them. He's an unbelievable player. I got a chance to play against Travis at Washington State. He can go both ways. He's a Heisman Trophy winner. So they made a good pick by selecting him. And I'm just blessed to be in a draft class like this. I think we're one of the most talented draft classes out there. And Travis is going to be able to make some good plays for those guys.
Cam, what's the plan for tonight? How are you going to celebrate after all the news is in?
Go back to the hotel, pack up, go to sleep, get ready to head to Nashville tomorrow.
Cam, are there any quarterbacks that you have enjoy watching or patterned your game after along the way?
I love watching Aaron Rodgers, especially how he can move in the pocket with little movements and getting the ball out. I think he's one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it.
Cam, as you know, this process, it's an inexact science. What is it about you that makes you feel, and why should the Titans also feel, that you're the guy that could turn this organization around?
I just think my journey, what I've been through. I really don't care what the outside world sees me as. The only thing I care about, is my teammates in the building. And so those are the only things that really matter to me. And at the end of the day, I just want to win football games.
Kayla, go ahead.
Hey Cam, welcome to Nashville. You kind of spoke a little bit about this being in different places, seeing and dealing with different locker rooms, but also environments, going from Incarnate Ward to Pullman, Washington to Miami. It's very different. How did that change in environment also, and different locker rooms help prepare you to be the guy you are now?
It's helped me a lot, especially the locker room at Washington State. I think that's why I really learned to get to know my teammates a little bit better. And then it translated over to Miami. So I got a chance to play, with 3 good teams, 3 different locker rooms, and I think it's helped me, get to this point in my career. Those 3 locker rooms helped me, be the first overall pick, and I'm forever grateful for those guys. And those are relationships that'll last a lifetime.
Christy, go ahead.
Cam, to have Coach Cristobal and Coach Dawson up there with you, to have the support from Miami, how special how much did that add to the moment tonight?
It added a lot, especially with those 2 to be my last 2 college coaches. What they did for me, just recruiting wise, to get me to Miami. And then just what we were able to accomplish in my short amount of time at Miami. So I'm forever grateful for those 2.
Chris Harris, go ahead.
Cam, congratulations. I'm curious, you've talked about having the chip on your shoulder. You've been the underdog from day one, the whole way, I guess, up until this past year at Miami when you really lit it up. I'm curious, what's it going to be like now, kind of flipping the role and the perception of, well, you're the number 1 pick. There's no underdog anymore. There are expectations.
Ain't nothing flip for me. Still a lot of people out there who be talking crazy. Maybe some of y'all in that room. So only thing that matters to me is my locker room, and the coaching staff, and the support staff in the building. So we plan on changing things around, but it only starts one day at a time. We just got to keep working.
Cam, the Titans have talked so much about your desire to win and your level of competition out there. What made you this way? You know, is there something, whether within your family or growing up, different teams over the years that made you have such a tangible competitive edge?
I just think how I was brought up. We were a big basketball family. I'm the youngest of, all my siblings. And then also just my journey. I've lost a lot. I've won a lot at the same time. So, I've learned how to handle adversity in the right way. You never get too high, you never get too low. And I just think just every situation you got to be able to learn from it.
Corey, go ahead.
Hey, Cam, you've talked about this being your dream since you were 6 years old. Did you still believe when you were a zero-star recruit at Incarnate Word that one day you were going to be on that stage?
I've always believed it. I've always believed it. Just the little things that my quarterback coaches and my dad would keep telling me, just keep going. Even when the times was rough, there's not a lot of people who could throw the football like me. And I make sure try to put a statement on every chance I get to play a game.
Last one, Paul.
Hey Cam, just curious, could you define your line between cockiness and confidence? Because a lot of people have said that you're confident, and you kind of walk that line. Do you think you walk that line, and what's your definition of that line?
I believe in God. People can say I walk that line all the time, but at the end of the day, they probably don't know the first thing about me. So none of that really ever matter to me. I don't care what the outside world thinks. I only care what the locker room thinks of me.